Hey there my friends, Erich Andreas, YourGuitarSage here, and today I'm going to show you my pedal board. I've had a lot of folks ask about my equipment, the guitars and amplifiers and that sort of thing, and so today I'm going to be focusing on my pedal board. So without further ado, let's take a look at it. Okay, so down here on the floor with all my gear, so I've got the trusty Fender Blues Jr. This is one of a couple that I have. This is a newer one that's been modded by Greg Ellis. There's a lot of different mods in there, maybe 15 different mods. Some to make it a little bit quieter, some to clean it up, all sorts of good stuff. One to give it more headroom, that sort of thing. But basically, get a real similar sound from a stock Blues Jr. Also has a new speaker, or it has a Guitar Warehouse speaker to be exact. Okay, so let's talk about the pedal board. So all this will be running through the Blues Jr. fairly clean, actually very clean. I have the volume set on 2, and then I adjust the master volume by the master volume, okay? And so I could get those clean tones if I want, and I can get the crunch tones, but mainly from the pedal. The basic, the heart of the pedal board is the Gig Rig G2. I just got this and am absolutely in love with it. It's really, really cool. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. Two TC Electronic Ditto pedals, one in the front of the chain, one in the back of the chain. Really cool because, well, I'll tell you more about that later. Let's go over everything that's in here. But I have 2 of them, one in the front of the chain, one in the back of the chain. Full tone deluxe Clyde Wah TC Electronic Spark, like it, but I'm getting rid of that. Everything else I'm keeping. The full tone OCD, Maxon Tube Screamer, full tone Fat Boost, Wampler Sovereign for kind of a heavier distorted sound, heavier overdrive, more like a Brown sound type of bit. Hall of Fame, TC Electronic Polytune, everybody has to have one of those. Empress Super Delay, the Ernie Ball, I think this is JB Jr. or a Junior. It's their volume pedal, I forgot the name of it. And 2 Roland EV5s and the Line 6 M5. So let me tell you a little bit about, so let's start at the heart here. So the G2 is really a cool switching system. So before I had all these pedals running in line into each other, and I believe they're all true bypass except for maybe the Line 6, I don't believe is. Everything else is true bypass. But still, as you know, when you run a bunch of pedals together, you get a little bit of tone suck, especially if you're running through this many pedals. Now, usually I'm only running 1 pedal at a time. That OCD is on 95% of the time. Everything else is off. Sometimes I'll run a little bit of a gate with this, a little bit of a noise gate, just to get a little bit of the hiss out. That's it. Everything else I use about the other 5% of the time, but when I need it, I need it. So it's there in recording situations or live. And in live, I actually use quite a bit of it. Okay, but the switching system basically takes everything out. So you've got 10 different inputs here. And so when I step on a switch, I can program this to say, bring this pedal in and leave this pedal out, and that sort of thing. So for instance, when I'm here on selection 1, it's just going through the amplifier, nothing else. Number 2 is just through the amp, but it has a little bit of pre-gain. So with this, you can actually adjust the pre-gain, how hard you're hitting the amplifier with the guitar, which is great because in one case I may get a nice, real nice clean tone. But here, I'm going to get a little bit of a heavier tone, or a little bit of a, not heavier, but it's going to be a little bit more overdriven. Okay. This third one I had going to my Spark, that's probably going to change. The fourth one I have just going to the Tube Screamer. Now here's really cool. So the OCD, I've got 2 versions of the OCD. I'm only using 1 pedal, but here's my pre-gain, so you can see it's set fairly low, and then the next one is a little bit hotter. So I can have 2 levels of overdrive with 1 pedal. So all that to say, you can do some really different things, some cool things with the pre-gain section of this. The S is the sovereign, and then basically those are my basic tones. I can pretty much do anything from funk to American clean to British type sounds, tube screamer, OCD, heavy metal, blues, rock. I mean, just name it. I can do it pretty much with those 7 basic tones. And then what's cool about the gig rig is it allows you to if I press one particular thing, it can bring in several different pedals at once, but I can also add things. So whenever there's a yellow button, I can add these different pieces as I'm going along. Which is really cool. So like for instance, if I like this tone right here, but I want some reverb, if I want some delay, I'll have to have the delay on first. Take my reverb out. So I can easily bring things in. This is also my boost, so if I'm playing a song, I've got my rock and roll tone here. I can hit the boost. I'm just going to bring it up just a little bit, enough for like a solo or what have you. And of course I can adjust that at any time, so that just brings it in. And then also what I've done is I've created another OCD, since I've used that a lot, and the tube screamer a lot, as bringing things in, because let's say I'm playing on the OCD right here and I want to have a little extra juice going to the amp. Maybe some reverb. But if I want it to overdrive more, I can kick the tube screamer on. So you can hear where I just bring in this pedal, it really adds a lot more punch to it. So, and then also, okay, so let's talk about the delays, or the ditto pedals. So as I said, I've got one in the front and one in the back of all these pedals here, and the reason being is on the first, this one over here is actually the last one in the chain. This one's the first one in the chain. And what I've done is I've created something to where this is my guitar straight in here, and doing this, what I can do is if I want to adjust the amp or if I want to adjust my pedal, so this is a cool little trick. I've never seen anybody else do it, so steal it. It's a great trick. I just kind of thought of it one night, really in the middle of the night, and I thought this would be a great idea. But what I can do with this is I can put a guitar part in here, and so basically what I can do is, instead of me playing a chord, adjusting my pedal or my amp, playing a chord, adjusting my amp or pedal, doing that over and over again, I can play the particular song or riff that I'm trying to do, or that I'm playing, and it's going to authenticate it exactly the way I played it by recording it. run it through the rig, and then I can adjust everything the way I want to do it, as if someone was sitting there playing the guitar for me. Right? Super good idea, isn't it? So I think that's super cool. And then of course I've got one at the end. In my head I think about this as the beginning of the board, but it's the end because it's the end of the chain. So I can, in this way here, I can build layers and delays and reverbs and all that good stuff, and I get the finished product over there. So this D here is for my dittos, and I can just bring those in whenever I want. If I have an idea or something, I'm working with the band, and I need to work on a part or a harmony or something, I can use that really quickly. Super cool, right? Okay, and the other thing that's really cool about the G2 is that you can, the volume pedal is part of your post gain area here, so I can have it in the loop or not in the loop by just simply pressing that button there, and it'll take it straight out of the loop. So right now it's there, but if I want to take it out of the loop, I press the post gain. Now it doesn't do anything. If I bring it back in, so if you wanted to clean your tone up even more, just if you weren't using it, say in the studio or what have you, or you could do all sorts of things with it. Basically, you can put it anywhere in the chain. It's not an actual loop. It's in a separate place that you can program it in different places in the chain in case you wanted your volume in different places. So pretty cool there. The two pedals. This left one goes to the M5 and controls whatever parameter I want it to control. And then this one goes to the Empress, and it can control either the mix or the feedback. I have it controlling the feedback, how many times we're hearing a particular delay. And but I honestly don't use that very often, so that's probably going to come out. Another really cool thing about the G2 is that if I double click any particular switch, in this case here 5 has been clicked, I'm going to click on again. Now it silences my guitar, no signal, and then I can tune up. And I use this obviously on stage all the time, so super cool bit there. And then I'm back rocking out again. Okay, and okay, so what else? The Line 6 M5 pedal. If you don't have one of these pedals, that needs to be your first pedal that you go out and get. I call it the Swiss Army knife of pedals because it absolutely does everything. It's got so many different delays and reverbs and modulations and overdrives and distortions and just the whole 9 yards. So I have this near the end of my chain just in case there's something that I need. I don't have a fuzz pedal on my board. I rarely use fuzz, but should I need it, I've got it. And along with like 100 other effects, should I need it, I've got it in there. Right now I use it as a noise gate for the most part, but I've got some really cool things that I've programmed in there as well. The Empress Super Delay is a programmable analog delay, so it's not MIDI, but I can, get different delays right here. So there's my slap back. So you can program different delays in here and then just bring them up as per the lights here. And pretty cool. And what else? What's magical? This is magical. The Sovereign is magical because I can really rock out. Let's give it a little reverb here. It's got that great rock sound. So when I need to kind of get that Iron Maiden type of sound or that 80s metal type of sound, that's the pedal I'm going to. OCD I use almost all the time. Tube Screamer I'm using for, to dirty up like a Strat or a Tele, usually my single coil guitars. What else? The Hall of Fame is great. You just heard that. That was the the reverb there. Small pedal, but great big sound. That's it. All right, that gives you the basic idea. And then, of course, a bunch of George L cabling and Mogami and that sort of thing. All right, that's all I can tell you about it. All right, I hope you like that tour. Hey, if you need help with guitar, you know where to find me, here on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, all those places. I'm there too, so please, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here to help you. Remember, YourGuitarSage.com, get the free ebook. Tons of great stuff there, great blog for learning blues and rock and all sorts, country, whole 9 yards. Check that out. Go to Unstoppable Guitar System, get in the system for $1. Hey, that's less than a bottle of water. Remember, don't trust the man. Spay and neuter. Be kind to one another. We'll see you.